Let me introduce our first speaker today, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to the main stage, give a warm welcoming to the CEO and founder of Odyssey Elixir, Scott Frohman, everybody. Scott.
Hello, everybody. First, I want to start off by saying I want to give great thanks for the group that put this great, amazing event together. You know, that happens to be a good friend of mine, a guy I've been doing a lot of things with. I've known for a very long time, Zach. This guy right over there, he was over there somewhere. There he is. He likes to keep a low profile. He's an awesome guy, and thank you for, and Jason, Jason for putting this amazing event together. It's really nice to see us all come back together, and be able to join in on an event. I remember going back, a little background about myself is that I come from the vape industry originally. I remember my first show is a place called Pomona, California. I had a brand. I used to go out there with naked fish and hustle it up and stuff like that. But today, we're here to talk about the power of medicinal mushrooms. I hope I'm not going to disappoint anyone because they're not the psychedelic ones, although I'm not against the psychedelics at all. I think they're fabulous, okay? But here's what we're here to talk about is the power of these other types of mushrooms. As I kind of went from vape, I wound up going and moving myself into CBD. And I'm bringing up a point for a good reason. From CBD, I started to work with a lot of mushrooms later on, and I had a lot of great success with both the vape and the CBD, and now really looking forward to taking on the mushrooms. And the point I want to make is that, guys, we're pioneers. I love this industry and grouping of people because we're the ones that bringing all these new products to the world, to life. A lot of times, like CBD, dude, I remember when we started selling it, people were like, I'm gonna get arrested. I'm gonna go to jail. I remember one time they wound up finding that they said we had over 3.3% THC, and the police showed up at our facility, and they're like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna get arrested? What's going on? And it turns out that the kits that they were using were wrong. And as it was, they wound up doing extensive testing and it didn't happen. But I remember when we first started calling people about CBD and they were like, no way I'm taking that in. And now, I just think it's really great of the kind of things that we do and the kind of people that we are about finding new innovative products to help people. And that's what I really have been about. And I've discovered mushrooms about 8 years ago because a friend of mine actually founded this mushroom product. I started putting it into my coffee. So moving along, what I have found is that the mushrooms today, there we go. What I'm seeing happening now, guys, is this. The mushrooms is a lot bigger than people think. If you bring these products, I'm not here to pitch my product, all right? You have mushroom products that you start bringing into your stores, you're going to be absolutely shocked, and you're probably seeing it already for the ones that are starting to carry mushrooms. When people walk in, they're going to be like, oh my God, I use lion's mane. I use reishi mushrooms all the time. I cannot believe all the different walks of life of people that are basically, when I tell them what I do, and they're constantly coming back and saying, I've been using mushrooms for years. And I'm just absolutely blown away. So I think that when I put this slide up and I came up with the idea that mainstream is coming, I'm not kidding about this. There's going to be a huge, huge, huge movement. I guarantee you, I come back here a year from now at the same show. Literally, I bet that there's going to be 50 booths or 25 booths or whatever the case is that are selling mushroom-based products. We deal with a lot of different people with these spins data and these people that work on all this background information, and this trend of functional remedies and functional mushrooms to help people. It's on an upswing and an upward trajectory that this is going to happen very, very fast. You'll mark my words, in 6 months from now, a year from now, next 3 months, you're going to look back and say, wow, I remember he said something about the mushrooms and how big it's going to be, and all of a sudden, my God, there's nowhere I go where I'm not seeing people utilizing mushrooms, talking about mushrooms, and getting great, great results from mushrooms. So let's talk about them. There's a couple of different types of mushrooms. There's mushrooms for different purpose, and I'm going to go into the next slide about it. So right now, there's different types of fruiting body and mycelium, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that as I go. But lion's mane, cordyceps, reishi, turkey tail, chaga, And those are predominantly the most important ones. So, lion's mane. Lion's mane is really great for brain function. You're going to find that people are using lion's mane all the time, and it's a very popular thing, and it really, really helps people with brain function. I've been using lion's mane now for many years, and I find that it winds up, I find that the sky is bluer and the leaves are greener and things are more clear, and it helps me to focus. Lion's mane's really key. Cordyceps. Cordyceps are great for energy. Cordyceps are going to give you sustainable energy, not the jolt of coffee, but if you move them and put them into coffee, what's exciting about it is that it gives you more of this sustainable energy without the jolt, without the drop. Reishi is really known for calming, and a lot of people are looking for things that are helping them with their mood and calming effects. So you find out with reishi, and the same type of thing you're going to find with turkey tail. Chaga, you've probably seen it around and heard about it. They're really more for about antioxidants. It's good for health and overall vitality and things like that. And you'll see people using chaga all the time. The same goes through with the matki and the shiitake. So it's really exciting to see. And each one of these mushrooms, they have different flavors and different things like that. There's a lot of different active compounds within these mushrooms that help. And I'm not going to bore you with a lot of the detail, but these different compounds are the compounds that wind up helping with the various effects, and people are actually feeling the effects. And that's what I think is special about mushrooms, is that people actually feel an effect. Now on the immunity one, you drink the immunity one, you're like, okay, am I that much healthier? You know what I mean? You don't realize it. But when you go with the cordyceps, or you start going with the reishi and the turkey tails, reishi turkey tail for mood, you'll see how it elevates you. You see on the lion's mane how it elevates, you know, and stuff like that. What you're going to find is, as you start looking at different products, you're going to find that people are starting to wonder about the varying different potencies and quality. And I'm going to open it up for questions later, a little bit more about this, but you'll find that you're going to find people that are going to be talking about fruiting bodies, or they're going to be talking about mycelium. The mycelium is grown in grain. And the grain is basically gets into the mushroom, and you end up with a product that basically isn't like a whole mushroom. And the fruiting body is basically the mycelium is the one that goes down into the ground, and the fruiting body is the stalk and the piece on the top. Extraction process. That's something that probably we're all familiar with in this place, right? We always talk about extraction. That's oh my God. That's too funny. And by the way, I'm not going to come up and tell you guys I'm some guru and expert at this, okay? I don't have a PhD on mushrooms. I'm a regular guy. I'm a businessman. I've used these products. They've worked for me, and I'm here because, you know what? I've found great effects. And, you know, they asked me to come and open up for this, and I'm grateful to have this opportunity to do that. Extraction process. Same kind of thing as what we see in CBD. Here we have hot water extraction. That's a popular thing, and this is going to be an important part of it later on. And then there's a dual action where they basically do the hot water extraction, and then they do the ethanol, the alcohol extraction as well. Why is the extraction so important? The extraction is important because you want to eliminate the fiber out of the product. You really want to get down to the real, you know, potency of the product. And in order for it to be absorbable in the body, it needs to be absorbed off the fiber, or else you have a ton of fiber, but you're really not getting to the high potency of what you're trying to accomplish from using these products. This is probably one of my favorite parts, the intake method. I wanted to put everybody's different products on here, and I'll talk about them. Capsules, you'll see a company like Ohm, they're very popular as far as capsules. Very important. Powders, you start to see companies like, let's say, Four Sigmatic, right? And who knows? Oh, there you go. Who knows Four Sigmatic around here? Right? A few people. By the way, how many people here actually use mushrooms? Okay, that's pretty good. All right. Powders, edibles, chocolate edibles, okay? Tinctures are going to become more and more popular, starting to see them come about. And we developed a beverage called Odyssey. We have it in the back. And when you first walk in, you come by, brought lots of drinks, and you could try it. We put it into a beverage because we wanted something that was going to be something for people that would really enjoy, basically the drinking of it and getting the potency out of it. The growth. It's projected that by the year 2026 that there's an $80 billion growth opportunity in mushrooms. This trajectory is going on, and it's going very, very quickly. So I think it's super exciting. I want to open it up to questions. That's our brand Odyssey, and but let's talk about, more importantly, this growth. So I'll open it up to some questions, and let's see. Anybody have anything that they want to ask me? Does anybody have any personal, how many people have vape stores here or CBD stores or some type of retail store? Good, you got a question? Go ahead. I don't know actually. Because what we did is we wound up working with groups that do the extraction. We don't do the extraction ourselves. I think when you go look around about the different products, I think what you got to really start to think about is, who are you getting them from? What is their background? I found and sourced a mushroom that gets extracted and that has a very high ratio of concentration, and I'm really bought in with the group because they've been doing it for a lot of years, and I felt very comfortable. But I don't really know how long it takes them to actually go through the process. There's a lot of new studies that are coming up, and they're coming up really fast. I've noticed. I don't know of any studies in particular in regard to helping like stroke people or people who are having other types of brain or dysfunctional issues. But there's also a lot of talk about how some of these mushrooms can really help in regard to the cancer and so many other things. And I think that's why you're going to see a lot. I know there's a lot going on in the development of it. I mean, we're reading about it, we're hearing about it a whole lot, because I think that people, the scientists are already seeing, and the movement's already seeing that there's a lot of benefits to these, Yeah. That's funny that you mentioned that about the tinctures, about you're talking about in particular like a tincture, right? I don't really know of any other way to, on the tincture side. I looked at that. I've decided actually not to do the tincture, but I don't really know. I haven't seen it, the tinctures. The other way to go would be to go to a capsule, somebody had to take a capsule instead of taking the tincture, but no, I don't know of any other way. To do a beverage. I decided to do the beverage because I was like, what, I want something that was going to give people a great experience and that they would actually look forward to actually drinking down. But yeah, no, I guess as time goes on, they'll probably develop some other flavoring in other ways. Yeah, it's called Odyssey Elixir, and they're basically when you first walk in against that wall over there. And we have a whole bunch of different drinks and stuff like that. Go ahead.
Hi, sorry. Yes, I'm a bartender, so I was just definitely asking about the Odyssey brand and how, as bartenders or beverage influencers, how can we actually promote that?
So, when you come to our Instagram, you're going to see that we have a lot of video that's starting to happen with mixologists and bartenders, because when you bring it into a bar, it's ridiculous. Like, people walk in. We have done a couple of tastes, so we're going to be doing a lot of things like Coachella and other kinds of things, because the whole movement, it's exciting, and people are using them as mixers. We have a passion fruit orange guava. I have a dragon fruit lemonade over here. They're so fantastic. And when you mix them with the alcohol, it's like euphoric. Like, you feel great. you're like, wow, this is awesome. So like we're really starting to see that, you know, for people who want non-alcoholic drinks in a bar or being out at night and socializing, it's a great way to go. And if they want to mix it with a drink, we have a lot of cool bartenders coming up with some really cool concoctions. So come on by and we'll give you a bunch to try out. And, you know, we look forward to hearing about some of the drinks that you come up with. Awesome. Yeah. Cool. Any other questions? No? All right. Well, look, I hope that, we got one more. Yeah.
I haven't been able to listen because I'm right out here in front of you.
Okay.
All right. I've had customers, so I didn't hear everything you said.
No worries.
But I'd like to know, you know, I do Mackinac Island fudge.
You do what? I'm sorry,
I do Mackinac Island fudge.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever heard of it?
No, but don't hold that against me.
Okay. That's in the Midwest, in Chicago, it's pretty famous.
Okay.
And we're doing both D8 and CBD and Mackinac fudge.
You gotta do the mushroom.
Are you? Yeah, that's what I'm getting down.
You gotta do it.
Okay.
You're gonna kill it.
So you can talk to me about that then later.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll point you.
Can you help me with formulation and stuff like that?
I'll point you in the right direction. You know, it's like, you know, by the way, I'm happy to help anyone about what they could do with their own products, okay?
Right.
And I'll tell you why. Because as there's more products in the industry, it's going to become, you know, like even in your store. Remember when you first started selling vape or you started selling CBD and you had like maybe one brand? It was like, okay, and then you had two brands. You're like, all right, and then you got 3 and 4. It starts developing a category. Like, I actually love the idea that there are people doing other things, like chocolates and other things, because it's going to help. And when you have a store, you shouldn't just have just one product. If you're going to commit to it, you want to start and you want to watch the dollars, then start by starting with something, but try and end up with like a couple of different things, because I think it looks better that you actually commit to it. And I'll tell you another thing. I think it's really important that you expand, because people you sell CBD to, some of them can be happy with the mushrooms. But how many people are into mushrooms that aren't into CBD and aren't into vape? So the point is, if you start advertising on the mushrooms, you're going to have people, because you can't find mushrooms readily everywhere. But interestingly enough, go to some of the bigger chains and you'll start seeing how they're starting to sell a lot more different types of mushroom products, giving you the idea. But I think it's important that you carry a few different brands of mushroom products, because it shows that you're like, you know, really kind of committed, and I think it'll bring other people into your store that you wouldn't normally have had. Or maybe it takes customers that you already have and they wind up buying other products as well from you, such as a mushroom product in addition to what they're already getting from you, you know? Any other questions? No? All right. Well, look, again, I want to thank everybody for coming, and thank your families for supporting you to come here as well. And I think it's great that we're all together to do good things and do good things for good people, okay, and make a difference in this world. So you're awesome. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good day.